One thing I think consumers need to be aware of within the target industry is price versus value. We did a little test at the range showing how long competitor products last compared to our products. These are three, we'd say, roughly comparable products. This is about a $90 competitor product. One well-placed shot will render this unusable. This whole wire frame is mild steel. One shot, gone. As you can see, I did manage to get a few shots into the wire. This one went clean through it. This one, with where the hinge was, would have rendered it unusable. And then this is all AR500, but then they weld it to a mild steel hinge. One shot through the hinge, it's toast. Our customers probably aren't thinking about that. My background is engineering, so I'm constantly thinking about where things are going to break. So that's a logical place for me to look, and that's the first place I shot was at the hinge because I knew it was a weak point. So $90, you're looking at about $240, $250 for a comparable shoot steel product. So this might seem like a better deal because it's cheaper, but if it only lasts one day at the range, is it really a good deal? I would say no, but so that was that one. This is about a $100 product. This one didn't make it to the range. They used plastic for spacers in the stand and this part here, and it's literally like crumbling apart. Like it didn't make it to the range. This was about a $100 product. So $100, and they'll warrant, I'm sure, if we sent them a picture, they'd send us a new piece, but how long is the next one going to last? One day at the range. This one did have fairly bad reviews that the plastic breaks. So that's $100. This is ours. So one thing I try to do with our products is make them user serviceable. This one, unless you have a welding and fabrication shop, it's done. And they're probably not going to warranty it. I don't know. If you shoot the stand, I can't imagine they're going to replace it. So ours is all conduit. This is stuff you can get at a hardware store, or we'll just send you some. You don't need to have a fabrication shop. If you get a new set of legs from us, you just pin them on. They come with the hardware. So it's user serviceable. And since it's a tube and not bar like this, you can shoot straight through a tube. The bullets just zing right through it. We've got footage of me at the range in this condition after you're done shooting it, and it still will support my weight on the stand. So it's still 100% serviceable. The biggest downfall right now is it's like a bunch of razor blades. So if this was my stand, I'd go ahead and replace all the components just so you don't have these sharp edges, and then I'd probably find new people to shoot with. We're comparing one of our gong targets here to two competitor gong targets. On these style of targets, the weakest link is going to be the mounting system. So this is a competitor target, and it just took a couple hits and busted off the ears. And it definitely was a design flaw. The material looks fairly normal. You get kind of a little dimpling, but they just didn't design it to last, which is free. There's no reason to design it like this. So this is our product, which looks almost identical, but we have some very subtle design features that we have that allow the target to last longer. So you'll see we're getting a little bending here. But we took quite a few hits. We'll get a close-up shot here later. But we took quite a few hits in there. And we shot out one bolt, and then we used a quick link, and we shot that out. And so we discontinued testing at that point. It had already taken several times more hits than this target, and it still fully serviceable. I didn't shoot this target. Well, maybe I did once. I got one little hit there. But I felt like his mounting area here was fairly strong. I didn't feel that was a weak point. But I did feel his hanging method was. So he used these little hooks that are laser cut out of steel. So you think steel, well, that's strong. Well, he used mild steel. You can see because it's getting gouged up in here and how they're bending, which is crazy because he's got target grade steel around because he's cutting the targets. Why on earth wouldn't you use target grade steel for the hangers? Because they're basically part of the target. You're gonna shoot it. So you get, I don't know how much all this was. The hanging system's fairly cheap, but then you have no way to hang it. And, you know, with mine, this is grade 100 chain, and if you don't want to get grade 100 chain, you can go to your hardware store and get grade 70 chain, which we found won't last quite as long, but holds up fairly well to bullets. So this is user serviceable. You go to the hardware store and you say you want two 14-inch pieces of chain, and they'll cut two 14-inch pieces of chain for you. So you can get back in action, where this guy, you got to go back to him. I don't know if these are $30, $40 what they are, but you have to go back to him for the hangers. They're just going to keep breaking. These are three targets that we tested. This is the Shoot Steel product, and we have two competitors. I would call them T-post statics. They all utilize T-posts for hanging. And starting over here, I'm a big fan of user serviceability. This hanging system is still fairly expensive. I think he charges about $25. But I was trying to get hits around here, and I just couldn't quite get very many hits right on here. But once you shoot this out, you're out $25. There's no fixing this. Where my design, if you shoot out the bolt head, you just replace the bolt. Ideally, you'd use a grade 5 or grade 8, but if you had to, you can go to a hardware store and get grade 2 just to get back up and running. You know, the spring, all this is user serviceable, and the part that isn't, the actual hanger, that's protected behind the target. So this one I was trying to hit here, but I ended up chewing a hole out in the target, and so it ended up being worse. So I thought you'd be out a $25 hanger, but you're actually out a $100 target right now. So that was surprising. I didn't think that would happen. Ours, we ended up shooting the bolt out on, which again, they're designed to be replaced, but our target's still intact, so your target can be used again. The hanger can be used again once you replace the bolt. This one I didn't shoot much over here. I was trying to break it over here, but I ended up moving on. This uses these little screws that go into the T-post, and it's supposed to hold it in place, but what ended up happening, I don't know if I was getting a couple shots off center or what, but it ended up crabbing sideways. So I had to stop shooting. I recentered it, retightened them, and within a couple shots it was crabbed sideways, which can present safety concerns. So we discontinued testing of this product due to safety, and that's actually fairly common. This would be the third product where we've had to discontinue testing due to safety. So those are all the T-post statics, and you know, one thing I'm always conscious of is user serviceability. Like, I don't want to just sell you something where once you break it, you got to come back for another $25. I'll sell you a spring and a bolt for a few bucks. I don't know what they're going for right now, but I'd rather do that than sell you the whole thing, because they will get shot up. I mean, this whole thing is a target. The mounting system just happened to be in the middle, so you're gonna get shots here. This eventually is gonna break, and you're gonna be out that $25, and so eventually this bolt or that bolt's gonna get shot up, and I'm always thinking of ways that the user can service it in the field to keep, you know, a match running or whatever. So that's what we found with all these, and the biggest thing with this one is this target's pretty much toast. It was hanging on there a bit, but it really wouldn't last much longer. So that was surprising that it chewed that big of a hole in it. So that's these ones, and feel free to reach out with any questions. We take a lot of pride in how we design the products, and we can explain some of that in more detail.